Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Golf Chat Show Live. We've got Joey Brooks back on. Joey, it's great to catch up with you, pal.
Yes, mate. Yeah, it was good last week, and it's good to chat with you again this week.
So, I know you played on Wednesday, saw on your social, and you played this morning. Like, how is it being back on the golf course? For one, in terms of like, is it weird it being like the certain rules? Obviously, social distancing. You can't touch the flag. All these aspects. Is it different to what you remember golf was before?
Definitely. It's so strange going up to a golf club, especially like Hanbury, where it's a hotel as well, and there's no one there. I mean, even with the amount of, like, probably we get about 50 or 60 people playing per day, it still feels quite empty. And like the rules, like I'm lucky because I've been playing on my own, so I don't really have to social distance with anyone. Because I'm playing on my own. But
social distance.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been social distancing with the golf balls. I think one left, one right. There's been a lot of distance between them. But no, it's just been it has been hard to get used to, especially like just the first couple of times getting out there, making sure that you're not going in nowhere near anyone, near the shop or anything like that. So yeah, definitely different, but something that I look forward to learning.
You know what? I played on, I'm trying to think when it was now, it feels ages ago, like Friday. And I had the temptation of wanting to touch the flag every single time. You know, like you got a short putt, you just usually whip it out, throw it on the floor. I was like, stop myself, like maybe like 4 times, being like, no, don't do that, Alex. Don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, like definitely, like, I mean, I've hit a couple of bunker shots today, and you're looking around for where the rake is or something like that, and then you're like, oh, well, it's not there. Or like, luckily at Hanbury, we've got the contraptions in the hole where you could just lift it out and like lift it out with your putter. So it's not too bad in that respect. But yeah, it's definitely hard to get used to.
Now, you said last week you've been working closely with the coach at home, hitting balls into the net and trying to work on swing changes. How have you found that, being back out on the golf course?
It's like any swing changes. When you take it firstly out onto the golf course and you've got to hit a certain shot, it's tough. It's tough to do that, from going from thinking, okay, this is how I want to swing it, and this is exactly the positions I want to get into, to thinking, okay, I've got 155 yards, got into a bit of breeze, and you're in between clubs and all this.
Yeah.
So that was hard to get used to. And as well, I don't know about you, but I found the first couple of holes back Wednesday, because I was so used to watching the ball hit the net and drop down, as I've looked up, I've like lost the ball in the air for a split second. And it was so weird, because I've never had that feeling before. But I'd look up and I'd be like, well, where is it? And like, so that was a bit hard getting used to. But I would say, because I'm only playing sort of 2-3 times a week, it's actually allowing me to work on a few things, and then try and take that to the golf course to see where I'm at, kind of thing. I know it's we're not playing competition, but it's still interesting to see, all right, how can I take this to the golf course, and how can I make it work while I'm playing on the golf course?
Yeah, because you made a point there. Like, it's hard to actually make a swing to hit a shot, or is a shot dictating the swing? Like, it's two different things, isn't it? Like, when you're playing your best golf, the shot you see in front of you, you make a swing to fit that shot, whether it's draw, whether it's fade, whether it's neutral, whatever it is. Your shot dictates your swing. When you're going through a swing change, it's like, well, I'm the same. Like, you get stuck between, like, okay, well, do I try and do this, or do I try and just let the shot dictate it? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. I think what a lot of people get, a lot of amateurs that I see as well, is when they're going through swing changes, 2 things. One, they try and hit the ball as hard as they can, because it doesn't matter what we're doing. If we change something, you got to try and go 100 mile an hour at it. Never works, never will do. So that's one thing. And then the second thing that you see is that people try and play golf swing rather than golf. Well, when you're out on the golf course, you're just trying to shoot the best number. I don't care. Like people that I play pro-ams with are like, okay, well, where am I here? Does the swing look all right? Like, it doesn't matter while you're out on the golf course. I'm just like, we just want to shoot the best score. That's one thing I think that the big, like the pros like Rory and DJ, like who we saw last night, are so unbelievably good at. is when they're not swinging it great, okay, they can still go out there and shoot 2-3 under, which is a feat in its own.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's a good thing in your game? Are you able to separate, swing thoughts and swing changes to actually playing golf? Do you think you're quite good at that?
In tournament golf, I am. I think once you get on the driving range and walk into the first tee, and the adrenaline starts going, and you're actually playing tournament golf, I think you can't think about golf swing. I think that the days leading up to the tournament, yeah, that's fine. You can do all that work, but sort of the day before the tournaments or the morning before you're going out for the first round, that's got to be out of your head. And I think I've learned that from quite a young age because I've made so many big changes already in my golf swing. I think you've got to understand that, okay, this is what I'm playing with today. Okay, how's the best way to go out there and shoot 68, 67? Okay, let's try and execute that.
So what brought about these swing changes? Is this something you want to get rid of in your game? Is something you're trying to improve in the game? What was the reason for it?
So I came back from America, and I had a coach while I was out in America, back in this country, and I didn't really see him much, and my swing got to a point where it wasn't what I was looking for in a golf swing. It wasn't a model. I went back and saw him, and there was no real model to what we was working on. We'd just change a few bits here and there. So I actually went and saw a different coach who's actually just the assistant coach at Hanbury Manor, Lee Norcott, who I've known for 15 years. We played junior golf together, and he's fantastic. So, but he had a model that he wanted to work from, and I was kind of so far away from that model that we had to make some big changes. And it's hard to explain, but going from here to here, and there's no in between. So I've really enjoyed the process. I think I've learned a lot more about golf as a whole. And okay, if I'm hitting that shot, why am I hitting that shot? And I'm able to teach myself when I'm not able to go and see my coach. So
that's a valuable thing. That's so valuable. No matter what level you are, if you can understand your swing, and you could be on the road for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks from one event to the next and playing this and that, and you don't have time to go and catch up maybe in between. Mm-hmm. So having that feedback to yourself money can't buy that, I don't think. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think, like, I was at a tournament last year and I wasn't hitting it great on the range, and I figured something out myself that I was doing, and then I rang my coach, and he said the exact same thing. So it was nice to be able to rely on myself rather than rely on a coach. And I think that's what great coaches do, is they make you self-sufficient. Yeah. So what I always see from a coach is, like, a great coach, like, you should be able to see them sort of once every 2-3 months, if they're far away from you, once every 2-3 months, and you should be able to work on it yourself during those 2-3 month period to try and get your game to where you think it should be. Because you both have the understanding and that model that you're trying to work with, and that relationship where you're both thinking the same thing at the same time. Yeah. Of course, you're going to need that. You're going to need that time where someone's going to need, like, you're going to need someone to stand behind you and say, yeah, that's a good golf shot, or that's a good swing, or no, maybe we need to change this or change that. But I think that the pros are so self-sufficient now that you really look down the line at a PGA Tour event, and there's not that many coaches there.
No, I was going to say that.
Like, you might get, okay, Stenson might have Pete Cowan there, or like Gigi might be there, but realistically, like, I don't think I see Rory's coach there much now. No. And like, because these guys are just going out there to play, and because their knowledge of the game is so in depth that they don't really need it.
Have you ever had your coach come to an event? And
I haven't, and that was one thing that we was looking at this year. Is he was gonna come to a few more events and kind of go through not just my golf swing, but how like the whole preparation side of it and everything like that. And I think that would have been a great help for my game. But yeah, coronavirus kind of stopped that a little bit.
Like, what do you think? What aspect would he have got involved? Do you think it would have been like, I know we're speculating here a little bit, but would it have been like Monday, Tuesday, like helping you on the range, and then sort of like Wednesday, just letting you do what you do in pro am, and then once you get into the event, you do what you want, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it would have been. I think there would have been technical work sort of that Monday, like probably Monday going into Tuesday morning, maybe. But then, like after that, like we would have been able to draw up quite a good game plan together. And I think that's something that he's quite a good player in his own right. So we would have been able to kind of see a game plan out on that golf course, and always finding the best ways to go out there and shoot low. Sometimes that might not be taken on par fives. Sometimes that might be taking the conservative route on some holes and trying to make par on some holes, but then understanding that you've got birdie opportunities further down the line. And I think that would have definitely been invaluable to me this year, and hopefully that's something that we can do going forward next year.
And well, I know obviously you said member of your family is in the high risk category, but as soon as that kind of risk goes, will you look to get on the golf course with him and sort of start implementing those things together, not like remotely?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely one thing that we're looking to do. We already started doing that over the winter, kind of going to different golf courses, and like we went to his golf course and his home golf course from when he was a junior, and being able to like go and see that golf course and think, okay, well, how would we play this if it was in tournament? And even at my home golf course, because everyone knows your home golf course, you could turn up with sort of 9 clubs and you'd be fine, because you always hit it in the same place and everything like that. And it's always just that different perspective maybe that you need, because sometimes you might see a hole where it's okay, draw, and then you might stand up there, well, why don't you hit like a little fade down here, or why don't you hit 3-wood? And it's just seeing shots that you might not see straight away, and understanding that, oh yeah, well that might work. And I mean, even if it shaves half a shot around, you know what I mean?
There's a difference between earning money and not, in it.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be a big help going into next year, and something that we can look forward to.
So going forward, what are your goals going forward for next year? And obviously this season it's not happening. You've got full card on Europro next year. Is it, because from what my understanding is, if you have a fast start on Europro, that opens up a lot of doors, doesn't it? It opens up Challenge Tour starts, opens up even potentially then from there European Tour starts. Pretty much if you start the season fast in Europro, the world's your oyster, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in 2018, I started off fast, and I actually got invited to the to a Challenge Tour event in Ireland, which was good, and that was my first Challenge Tour event. Looking back on it, would I have gone, considering there was a Europro event at the same week? I don't know. I probably would have stayed on Europro, because you've got to understand that you miss a week on Europro. If some of the guys who are in the top 10, top 15 have a good week, they can bump you out that top 5 really quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. And it's all right, you go into the Challenge Tour event, but you've got to finish sort of top 15, top 20, or like top 10 to play well. You know what I mean? To get into the next week, and to get into the next week after that, and like if you want to go that route. I mean, my goals for next year are to win the Europro Order of Merit. I think if you spoke to every guy on the Europro, I think that they would say the same thing. But like, probably one of my statistic goals is probably lowering my stroke average. My stroke average last year was 71.2, I think, or 71.3. And I mean, like, you look at the top guys on the Europro, it was kind of pushing 70, pushing like low 70s, maybe high 69. So it's okay, where do I save that shot? And yeah, probably that's one statistic goal. But yeah, looking forward to next year, just try and win as many times as possible, and try and put yourself in contention and on the Sky cameras as much as possible, just so you can feel that buzz and you can feel that energy. And then when you go into sort of maybe a Challenge Tour event or a European Tour event, well, you've been in that situation before, so it won't feel new to you. It'll feel like just the norm. So yeah, that's something that I'm hopefully looking forward to next year.
George, before we move on, just be careful with the microphone. Just getting a bit of disturbance.
I can't show them.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but no. Just happened then. Just it's fine. So another question. Based on Europro, is it still if you win 3 times in a season, or is it 4 times in a season, do you get automatic kind of qualification to Challenge Tour? Is that still one of the things?
I don't think so.
It used to be, didn't it? It used to be.
Yeah. Well,
Was that Challenge Tour? If you win 3 times, you go straight to Europro.
Yeah, I think that's on Challenge Tour. So I think if you win 3 times on there, then you're straight, like you've got a European Tour card from that point onwards. I'm not sure about Europro, but I mean, if I won 3 times in that year, I think
you're pretty much guaranteed, aren't you?
I think I'd probably give up the clubs for the rest of the year and go fishing or something like that, or go on holiday.
If you're guaranteed, then aren't you? If you win 3 times, like you'll be guaranteed there, surely.
Pretty much. I mean, you'd think so. You'd like to think so. I mean, if you won 3 times in that year and made 30 grand, and someone pipped you by 150 quid or something like that, you'd be fuming.
Oh my god!
So, do not get no lottery ticket.
So right, okay. You mentioned the goal from last night. Rory, Wolf, DJ, and Ricky. Now, what did you think of it? For me, it was weird seeing them with no caddies. It was weird seeing them obviously in shorts. It literally just looked like 4 mates playing golf. Like, what did you think of it?
I was really excited for it. I thought it was going to be awesome. I thought we was going to get a real good insight into how, like, what they talk about during the round and everything like that. And it was a little bit of a letdown, if I'm totally honest. I found it quite boring. There's too many adverts. Like, what from a golfer's perspective, I would have loved to see, love to hear them talk like down the fairway, just chat, just chat about nothing. But from a golfer's point, but for a golfer's point of view, you'd think, oh, that's awesome. They're talking about football, or they're talking about nothing, but it's so cool. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
But yeah, it was just, and like, I don't know how good it was in terms of actually having a 4-ball out there and like putting it on TV when everyone's supposed to be social distancing, and then you've got the Steve Sands, who's one of the commentators or the on-course reporter out there, standing right next to Wolf at one point, like no more than a yard away from him, and you're like, well, what message is that going to send to the normal golfer across the world, thinking, well, if they're doing that, well, why can't we do that?
Yeah, especially like 4 balls as well. Like, we've been told we can only play in 2 balls, or majority of clubs in 2 balls.
Yeah.
And, with only one person outside your family, as long as you're social distance. We've now got a reporter, 4 high-profile golfers, no matter who it is, 4 golfers, for a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Doing none of the rules. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great watch. Like the actual golf, and like the golf course, Seminole, looks unbelievable, and probably one of the best golf courses in America. But I was disappointed with the coverage. I love to listen to Paul Azinger's voice. It's just fantastic. Oh, he's a nightmare. So yeah, that was up there with the highlight of the night. Every time he come on, I muted it, so at least I got some movement out of it. But yeah, just to not see them social distancing or not keeping to the guidelines like strictly, when everyone's been told, all right, well, if we don't do this, then the courses might shut again in this country, and then to see like it's kind of okay, like rules for us and then rules for them a little bit. But listen, it was live golf on TV again. Hopefully that's the first step in sports coming back. And I mean, we had the football on the weekend as well.
Did you watch that?
I watched bits of it. That was quite weird.
They social distancing either. Like at the start, one of the Borussia Dortmund players was like whispering in his teammates' ear.
Yeah.
Then the striker scored, and they were just standing 2 meters away from each other. I felt like saying, "Mate, you've just been whispering in his ear for like 5 minutes. What are you doing?"
Yeah, it's just, and then like, but then you see him on the bench, and they're like in masks, and they're like 8 feet away from it, or like 3-4 meters away from each other. That looks strange, but I mean, maybe that's the new norm for the moment in time, and for the next sort of year, 18 months. Maybe that's the way it's going to go. And I think the more sport on TV, the more people will stay at home, and hopefully we can get sport back on TV and everyone watching again.
By the way, who do you support?
Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Someone I guess, haven't they?
So I'm hoping this season's been cancelled. I'm hoping it is. Right?
Everybody is.
Yeah, everyone apart from them Liverpool fans. Nightmare.
So going back to the golf last night, what did you make of their games? Did they look sharp? Do you think they were looking good? They didn't look like basically not being away. What did you think of it?
I mean, Ricky's putting is just a joke.
He's a joke anyway. Literally a joke.
He could hit it anywhere, and just if he's on that green inside sort of 10, 15 feet, you might as well give it to him. DJ looked a little bit rusty to me. His putting was a little bit off, but that's to be expected. I mean, he probably hasn't hit putts for a while. Or Rory looked okay, but I think the kind of standout person from it all would have been Matt Wolff. I mean, out driving all these guys, and you've got DJ and McIlroy, who everyone kind of talks about being the longest on tour and all this, and you've got this guy who swings it up and down and round and like north, south, east, west kind of thing, and bombing it.
Crazy, 15, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, bombing it 15, 20 yards past everyone. So it was good to see him as well, because a lot of people wouldn't have seen how he's played. I mean, I've watched a lot of golf. I've watched a lot of college golf, like with him playing, and I've known about him for a number of years now, and it's good to see him being with the likes of Ricky and Dustin. And I know John Rahm was supposed to be there, but they didn't fly him out from Arizona because they thought it was going to be, well, they didn't want to be seen flying someone out just to play golf kind of thing. Yeah, so. Yeah. But it was good that he got the chance, and he definitely took his chance and didn't look out of his depth playing with him.
No. How far do you reckon he can go? Because some people would argue, and probably people said this about Jim Furyk as well, it could be too inconsistent, too many different moves. But at the same point, I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about matching movements, and you could argue his movements just match, the way it's all synced up just works.
I know people think that his golf swing is weird, but at the points where it matters, so at the top of the backswing, on the way down, it's one of the best movements I've seen from a golfer. I mean, I would say the guys coming out of college, so it was Matt Wolff, Colin Morikawa, and Victor Hovland coming out at pretty much all the same time. I would say, because Victor Hovland's kind of got that movement as well. And that's the new move now. These kids come out of college and just hit it a country mile. And they hit it straight as well. It's not like that. It's not like 2001 Tiger where he could hit it anywhere. Someone would palm it back into the fairway. You know what I mean? It is, these guys nut it down the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, and every time, another thing is they don't look like they're not going to hit it down the fairway. The confidence is a joke.
Yeah. I mean, when he stood up on one of the par fives, and they had 350 grand or something for longest drive. Rory's nutted one, DJ's nutted one, and then Matt Wolff has just turned up, just done his little wiggle or whatever, and he's got 160 into the flag, and you're like, all right. And
cheers, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what that Gigi says, is getting Scooby or whatever, getting wet.
Have you seen some of his stuff is quite quirky, isn't it? But a lot of players are adopting it now. A lot.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that I work on with my coach has actually come from stuff that he works on. I mean, it's definitely doing something the opposite way on the backswing to get the opposite on the downswing. So for example, if you're going to have it a little bit across the line at the top, it's actually going to be easier for you to shallow it out because it's a bigger movement. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that we work on, and I mean, he's one of the best coaches out there. I mean, you look at some of the guys he's working with now. I mean, he's working with Danny Lee, who's on the PJ Tour. He's working with Matt Wolf. He did a bit with Harrington as well, and he's got that Johnny Ruiz as well, who's on the Corn Ferry Tour. I think he's still, but he looks unreal as well. And these guys just come out as absolute flushers.
Yeah.
And they get it into a position where they can swing it as hard as they want.
Yeah, they don't seem to have any other gear apart from 100%.
Yeah.
None of them.
And I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to have about 85% of that.
I just tickle it down the fairway. Oh no, just put it down there.
But again, I think that's what golf in this country teaches you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you'll know this because you went to the States to uni.
Yeah.
Like I've thought this for a while. Like you look at golf over here. Oh no, just keep it in play. Just put it on the fairway, hit the fairway. You get to PJ Tour, for example, and college golf in America, and you'll know this better than me. Bomb it down there, go and find it, hit it on the green. Now that bomb it, find it, bomb it, and go and find it isn't really relevant anymore because they just bomb it down the fairway because they're just built and just brought up from this big to just try and swing it 100%. Whereas like us as juniors in the UK, it's like, oh no, just make sure you hit the fairway. And it's that mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think the golf courses that we're brought up on was 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", past 72s, like irons off the tees, no drivers, putting it in play, like playing more like chess. And I think like when I went out to America, it was such a big change. It was like, okay, there's these guys that are hitting it 60, 50, 60, 70 yards by me. And that was another reason why I kind of changed and like made so many big swing changes because I wasn't able to get the power the way I was swinging it. So like we played the Nicholas course at Ohio State where he went to uni. And I mean, that is just an absolute brute. Like they played out on the Corn Ferry Tour and you're just sitting there and it's like every hole is the same. 460 par 4, 450 par 4, 560 par 5, 220 par 3. And you're like, and we're playing it and it's snowing. And you're like, well, how am I supposed, like, I'm laying up on par 4s because I can't get there. Yeah. So I think it is a massive culture shock. And I think that's why most European tour players don't do very well when they go out to America first off, because they're so not used to playing a golf course to 7-2, 7-3 soft, where you have to just launch it. And then the greens are soft, so you're just launching everything into there and just playing target golf. Where most courses on the European Tour, when you watch it, it's kind of a little bit firm in places.
Yeah, it's like Cron. Like that is one of the most. Yeah. It's obviously, don't get me wrong, it's one of the mintest places to go and play golf.
Yeah.
But like, it's not long. It's altitude. Like the guys are hitting like irons off most tees. Like I think that week, some guys wouldn't even need to pull out a driver. Like they didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember watching that and like. I think McIlroy played there maybe a few years ago.
Yeah.
And was like hitting, like driving greens, just like left, right, and center. And you're just like, well, that's what he's known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think as well, you look at the sort of top 50 in the world or top 100 in the world, the guys who have got no money worries, right, and all this, right, they can hit it as hard as they want. And if they're on that week, they win. Yeah. If they're not, they miss a cut or they finish 50th, and it doesn't matter. I think what you've got to look at pro golf is, yes, okay, the top 100 or top 50 in the world are really good, and they're like, don't get me wrong, they are unbelievable. But I think for a real sense of professional golf, look at the guys who are around like the 125 mark to keep their card, right? And watch what they do, because they've got to worry about a mortgage, like kids maybe, or whatever like that, or just keeping their job, right? Yeah. And they might, and I guarantee you their game plan is going to be completely different from a Rory McIlroy's, where it's, okay, it driver as hard as I want and go find it. And if I don't play well this week, I'm playing next week, so that's fine.
Yeah. And I totally agree. It's almost like a false sense of security, isn't it? Because those guys at the top, and it's the people we see on TV 95% of the time, are the guys who have got no money worries, no sponsor worries. They're made for life. They could not play golf tomorrow and absolutely fine. But you see in Portuguese Masters on European Tour, that last event, you see guys that you've not seen all year trying to scrap to keep their card.
100%.
It's like Stephen Brown. He won. He had to keep his card.
That was one of the best rounds I've ever seen.
Yeah. Mark Warren a few years ago, he had to do a similar thing to keep his card. And I totally agree. I think to get a real sense of golf and pressure, it's those guys. Because I don't think those guys, I mean, they might say they go full out on everything and go at every flag, but I don't think they do, because they've got to weigh up the percentages, right? Well, I can't do that. I can't go for double bogey. It's got to be a smarter game plan than, I'm not saying that Rory and Dee don't have a smart game plan, but you mentioned it before. They go at everything. If they're on, they win.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it shows from McIlroy's wins in majors, right? The guy goes for everything because he's got no worries, right? So he goes into a major, right? Wins the one at Congressional by 8 shots, wins the one at Kiowa by 7 shots or whatever it was, right? Because if he's on, he's on, right? Yeah. And at that time, like 2014, maybe 2015, I think that was, like no one could touch him. Absolutely no one could touch him. But now, like you see the new crop of guys who are like Matt Wolff and all these guys, they come out with such confidence because they've played against the best players at college level. And it's not that big of a step from college level to professional golf anymore, where sort of 15, 20 years ago, it was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like everyone goes on about that interview that I think it was Curtis Strange did with Tiger. And like Curtis Strange was like asking it, like when Tiger first came out on tour, and Tiger said, well, like I think he said seconds bad and third's even worse, right? And like Curtis Strange was like, well, on tour that's not too bad, and he was like, no, I just want to win, and Curtis Strange said, you'll learn, and you're like, well, no, he didn't, because he's got 15 majors and about 1,000 wins on tour. So.
So, final question: what are you getting up to this week? Are you playing golf this week?
Yeah, so I'm playing on Friday. I'm going to try and get a tee time for Wednesday as well. I'm going to be hopefully first out both days. So it's just, for me, it's just I'll be doing a little bit of practice after this, probably just in the garden. I'll be doing a little bit tomorrow, and then it's just trying to take what I've practiced and what I've learned while I'm hitting balls into the net and try and take that out onto the golf course. Yeah. And then as well, because I'm on my own, I can kind of throw a few balls down and make sure that I keep my short game in check and everything like that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if some of the mini tours do open up, like I've heard, then hopefully we'll have some competitive golf to play in sort of 6-8 weeks time.
You're going to play some of the mini tours to keep you sharp?
I'm going to try to. I mean, it all kind of depends on, like, I'm running everything by my parents at the moment, and because I still live at home. So, and with Dad being highly vulnerable, it's kind of, it's if he's okay with it, and if the government say that, like, I can with his condition. So what it might come down to is I spoke to one of my mates, Jake and Asa, as well about this. So. What we're looking at doing is sort of playing a tournament once every 6 weeks. So you can kind of play that tournament. All right, well, where was my good things and where was my bad things? Work on that for 6 weeks, and then we go again.
Yeah.
Like working that as a plan, and then hopefully by February time we can get out to Portugal and get ready for the season again.
Class. Well, perfect. Have a great week.
You too, pal.
Thanks so much for coming on.
No problem, mate. No problem.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight on the Golf Chat Show. We have more content coming this week, so keep posted on our social media. And if you did enjoy the content, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Thanks very much.
And follow Cobra Puma Golf.
And yeah, don't forget that, guys. That's one of the most important things.